Before I worked at the district attorney's office, I was an attorney here in Corpus Christi. I worked with the district attorney's office in many, many criminal cases. I did criminal cases. I tried every kind of case. I did family law cases. I was in this courthouse every single day. So I knew what went on at the district attorney's office. And when I actually had the opportunity to go and work there and be a child abuse prosecutor, I really knew what went on there. And that was the moment that I found that God put in my path to do what it was that I had always been looking to do. To serve, to give some victim a voice. A voice that could be heard among 12 jurors who would listen to their pain, listen to their struggles, and do what needed to be done to give them some justice. The district attorney's office for many years had pretty low morale. Some people gave up and they quit working there because the pay wasn't good, and they went on to do better things instead of doing something internally in the office to make it better. But I didn't, because I believed in what we were doing in that office for this community. So what I did was try to make the best of it. I tried to help teach people. And in my tenure at the district attorney's office, every single trial I had, I made sure that I had a junior prosecutor sitting with me so they could learn, because that was going to be the only training they would ever receive. And so every single trial, there was a junior prosecutor right next to me, learning how to submit evidence, learning how to do what needed to be done to be good protectors of this community. I also did, through my tenure as a child abuse prosecutor, teaching outside of the office, because I was called upon for the work that I did in the office by law enforcement, by Corpus Christi Police Department, to teach their cadets and their seasoned officers how to gather better evidence, how to do better report writing so that they would be more effective in the courtroom. And then the outside community started asking me to teach their officers. And counselors called me and asked me to teach their counselors how to be better witnesses in court. And I did that because they knew my work ethic. They knew my drive, they knew my desire. And that was to be a public servant for this community, my home, the community where I grew up. I've had the opportunity now to be the district attorney for 2 months. And I made some changes immediately because I knew those changes needed to be made. And I needed to make those changes because we were so backlogged on cases. So many people in this community were not getting justice. There are even members of this executive committee who had family members who were not getting justice because cases had been sitting and sitting and sitting. So I revamped the office. And I have to tell you that I did the numbers today so that I could tell you a little report card about what has really been going on in the DA's office. From January 1st to March 1st, in a 2-month period, under the previous administration, we went through and processed. That means we actually got files from the police department, put them through the system so they could be assigned to a court. 1,128 cases in that 2-month period under the previous administration. My administration started on March 18th, and we didn't hit the ground running until the 1st of April, even though we were working diligently. But to date, we have processed through that misdemeanor section 2,221 cases. We have doubled the production in the office because we have people that want to work now, not people who are complacent, not people who are thinking of themselves and what they're going to do next, but people who want to work. We have some young attorneys that actually walk around the office smiling. It's something I hadn't ever experienced in the DA's office, unless people were just laughing in the hall about something totally different. We have a new atmosphere at the district attorney's office. We processed 432 felony cases in the 2 months of my administration. Under the previous administration, it was 207 felony cases. We disposed of 436 cases in a 2-month period. I want you to know that I have been a working district attorney. I have the experience, I have the electability to do what I need to do for this party. And I want the other candidates to know that whether or not I am selected to be on this ballot today, I will be behind you 100%. And I am sorry that because of this particular race, you've been subjected to negativity within our own party, because I know that you've worked hard to create unity. And I encourage you to keep it up, because we'll get there. All of us will get there together. This negativity does not belong in the Republican Party. That's not why I'm a Republican. That's not why you guys are Republicans. And I support you, and I will work and campaign hard to be sure that I do what you need me to do as your elected official. Thank you very much for your attention.
Everybody now has their list of questions out. I want everybody that has a question to be able to ask the question. So I'll just start at the front and work my way back and recognize individuals as they indicate they have a question. Is there anybody at this first table that has a question for either of the candidates? All right, second table, question for either of the candidates. I'm at this second table. There's 3 on each row. How about the fourth table? Third table, I can't count either. All right, second row, any executive committee member has a question for either candidate. Would you rise and state your name, please?
Mr. Sales, why are you in Meadville now? Tell me, is there a reason?
Well, I had made, Carlos Valdez had a policy that if you're going to run for public office, that you needed to resign. So after having run as a Republican for the 94th District Court in 2006 and spending $100,000 of my own money, I decided that, Carlos, I'm going to run for the district attorney in 2012. So the sacrifice I was willing to make for you, for the gentlemen and ladies over here, was that I was going to go to Beeville, drive an hour there, work 8 hours, and drive an hour back every day for 3 years in order to represent the Republican Party in 2012. I had made that sacrifice, I was willing to do it, and I was happy to do it. Thank you.
All right, anybody else on the second row have a question for either candidate? Yes, sir, would you rise and state your name? Mr. Sharp, correct?
Right.
I'm going to learn everybody's name before it's over.
My name is David Sharp. I'm precinct chair for 118. Okay, I have questions for both candidates, so I'm going to start with Mr. Sayles. In terms of leadership, I reviewed your resume, and I didn't see anything on your resume where you actually held a leadership position, where you were a manager of any kind of department or anything like that. You had primarily done a lot of work as assistant district DA, and I commended that you've done a lot of good professional work. But the issue is, I didn't see any leadership where you'd actually held a leadership position. So my questions are for you. Well, they're sort of together. You tell me if you want to answer them all together or one at a time. But basically, I wanted to know what was your vision for the department. How do you plan to improve effectiveness and efficiency of the operations itself of the department? I'm talking about as an administrator, instead of as working as a prosecutor. And what are your plans, skills, abilities in terms of recruitment, retention, human resource development?
Thank you, Mr. Sharp. I was actually the misdemeanor chief for a period of 1 year. And in 2006, I served 8 years as gang prosecutor and was promoted to the misdemeanor chief, where I held that about a year. And 2 things happened when I was misdemeanor chief. One, a police officer came to me and asked me to reduce the DWI because he knew the female that was accused of the charge, and he told me that he could have a relationship with her if I dropped the DWI. I said, no, I'm not going to do that. The second thing that happened is the defense attorney came to me and We wanted to reduce a second time DWI with an accident and a breath test